Well, hey, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know we're back here in the high desert. No, we're not in Victorville. We're not in Hesperia. We're not in Apple Valley. We're in Oro Grande. And where we are, take a look back here. It is an ostrich farm. And today we're going to find out a little bit about ostriches, a little bit about emus, a little bit about turkeys, and a little bit about what it takes to be in this type of business, an entrepreneur. The ostrich business, what do they use ostrich for? We're going to find out. We know the eggs are huge. It's a big omelet. And we're going to be right here on this show. And don't forget, you can go to our website, www.yououghtaknowtv.com, and check out our website and our shows right there. Simply because, like with all of our shows, you ought to know. Ostriches coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know. And take a look here. I mentioned ostriches in the opening of the show. And Doug, first off, introduce yourself.
I'm Doug Osborne, owner of the OK Corral Ostrich Farm, where the bird is the word.
Bird is the word, and that is the motto, so to speak.
Here in Oro Grande, California.
All right, now we've got right here, this is less than an hour old here.
That's correct. These chicks were hatched just about an hour ago, and there's 6 of them in here. And in just a moment, we're going to hatch a couple more.
All right, so we're going to see some hatchings going on, some little hatchlings. Are they called hatchlings?
That would be a correct terminology for it. Yeah, a hatchling or chick.
All right. The OK Corral is, you said we're in Oro Grande.
We are in Oro Grande, California.
All right. Now, phone number if people want to get a hold of you. Let's get that out right away.
760-951-5180. All right. And you can find us online at UnitedStatesOstrich.com.
Well, we've got a lot to show in this particular show and a lot to talk about in a short time. Yeah. So from the youngsters here, we're actually going to see some being hatched. So let's move right into that. Let's do that. Okay, well, the baby chicks are back in the brooder where they're being kept warm at this point. So, Doug, we're going to reach into the incubator now where the eggs are. Is that right?
That's right. We're going in the incubator where the eggs spend 42 days. And we have some chicks here that are ready to come out and visit with us.
All right, so let's do that. Let's take a look in there. Let the camera move right up here. Take a look in the incubator, everybody. These are ostrich eggs that you're seeing now. Take a look at this. Now, Doug, the rotation here, does this normally auto-rotate the eggs for you in the incubator?
It auto-rotates 6 times a day, 90 degrees. It's just the equivalent of a mother bird rolling the egg multiple times during the day. Even our own mothers rolled their egg with us in there. Otherwise, we'd have come out looking like halibut.
Well, now these eggs that we have here, 42 days, at what type of temperature in the incubator?
97.5 degrees for 42 days. Here's a little fellow right here that's getting ready to come out.
Come right in here with the camera. You can see the egg there. See where he's kind of pecked it, and he's ready to make an entry into the world. There you get a shot of him. So is that one of the eggs you're going to go after there, Doug?
Yes. We're going to go ahead and open him up.
All right. We're going to move right back out here out of the incubator now.
Move over to our laboratory. Okay.
And there we go. Now the process, how thick of an egg is this? The shell doesn't look too thick.
About a 1/16 of an inch thick.
Yeah.
These shells are made to break out of but not into. You know, in Africa, it helps when the lion can't come over and eat your egg. So you can actually stand on this egg when it's full and it won't break.
But they have access from the inside. It's kind of pliable and they can get through that.
They use their foot coming over the top and they kick their way out with their they already at this, even at this stage, can kick with a mighty blow.
All right, so we're going to help this youngster out, finish him off today. And how many more are you expecting now out of this group you have in the incubator in the next few days or weeks?
Well, we're just going to get about tonight 6 or 7 more, and we're getting towards the end of the season, probably another couple hundred. We're already over 1,000 right now for the year.
And that's what you call your season then of the ostrich hatching process?
About a 6-month season.
Okay. Well, here comes this one. He cracked the top of the egg there, and you can see, look at the lining here inside the egg. This is a fine lining.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the little fellow.
You peel that back and just kind of help him a little bit. Nice shot. This is the ostrich coming out of the egg. First time in the world today as you're seeing it here on this particular show. Again, we're in Oro Grande, the OK Corral Ostrich Farm. And Doug, how many ostriches, I've checked websites, a lot of people in the association and so forth, how many ostriches are raised, for instance, in this country?
There's about 52 farms left, most of them in the 20 to 30 bird range. This farm is about 1,500 birds here, by far the largest in the United States.
All right. Well, look here. This one's going to come out, and he will end up weighing about how much at birth?
We're going to cut the umbilical cord now.
All right, here it comes. See that, everybody?
There we go.
A little cut right there.
Cut the umbilical cord.
A little moist, a little damp coming out of the egg. So a little wipe down for him.
Little pad on him, and we check his feet, and we check his little wings, and now he's ready to go into the hatcher.
All right, there you are. You've got a brand new one, everybody. Right here at the OK Corral Ostrich Farm. Take a good shot of him. There he is. Now, you don't make pets out of these.
No, they don't make good pets. No, they kick with a force of about 2,000. His daddy kicks with a force of 2,000 pounds per square inch.
And his daddy probably weighs about, what, 300?
400 pounds, stands about 9 feet tall.
All right. Well, we're going to let him go to the brooder. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We're going to be back with more. You're going to see a whole lot more from the OK Corral Ostrich Farm. And why are we here? Like with all of our shows, keep you informed because you ought to know. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, from the OK Corral Ostrich Farms in Oro Grande, California. And Doug, again, introduce yourself.
I'm Doug Osborne, the OK Corral Ostrich Farm in Oro Grande, California.
Yeah, now let's talk about how long you've been here. And I know you've been on a lot of TV shows. Talk about some of those.
Oh, okay. Well, we've been up here in the high desert for 16 years. We were originally on Apple Valley Road, and over in Apple Valley, and then another farm in Apple Valley. We've been on Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
I don't see what could possibly go wrong. Your manners, all
now,
right?
You gotta, don't worry about it, everything's fine.
Don't worry about it?
Yeah, don't worry.
What I do.
We're currently running on Modern Marvels with a segment called The Egg. It lasts about an hour.
And this is Ostrich Farm owner Doug Osborne, giving his daily warnings to ravens eyeing the piles of eggs that have been laid overnight.
There go the ravens. There we go. I'll stay away for an hour or two.
1,500 ostriches currently live on Osborne's OK Corral Ostrich Farm in Oro Grande, California. He raises many for meat, which is in great demand for its flavor, tenderness, and low fat content. But he is also one of the nation's most prominent producers of ostrich eggs. And yes, they are edible.
One of the things we believe here on the ostrich farm is that you are what you eat. And if you are what you eat, the ostrich lives 100 years, he runs 50 miles an hour, and he mates 3 times a day. I mean, what more could you ask for?
And we've been on the cover of the Daily Press probably 35 times, and several airline magazines. We were on the cover of, I was on the cover of UPS magazine, worldwide publication, and the Wall Street Journal, the LA Times. We've been on a lot of places.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jay Leno show. Let's not forget Jay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And did you take an ostrich on the show?
No, but I did take an ostrich onto the Judge Wapner show about 12 years ago. And we've been on the Judge Judy show with our ostriches, and we won all the cases.
Ow! I just got bit!
What happens when you take America's sweetheart and thrust him into the seedy, uncensored world of birds gone wild?
Next, from now on, this one's name is Paris. What's going on with like the naked backside? Does it make it more attractive to the males, like the Brazilian wax? Or?
Balder the better.
The balder the better. Yeah! This reminds me so much of Pamela Anderson. Feel it.
Ross the Intern explores the world of
Disgusting ostrich whores.
Good. Now, you did have some bouts out on Apple Valley Road, so you ended up out in Oro Grande, but a beautiful area out here.
Oh, yeah. We have 40 beautiful acres here and plenty of water, and we're not bothering anybody. Nobody's bothering us.
Well, that's the way we like it. Now, this very much, though, this is a business, isn't it?
Oh, very much so. We have about 1,200, 1,300 ostriches here on the farm right now, and we are by far the largest ostrich farm in the United States, and we've been in it for 20 years in this business.
Now, ostriches are used for what?
Well, ostriches are used to make, their hides are used for wallets, purses, and belts. One of the most expensive leathers in the world. The meat, our customers read like who's who. They're Whole Food Markets, the Fuddruckers restaurants. Locally here, we have the Summit Inn, Overland Meats on Highway 18, and the Apollo restaurant on 7th Street in Victorville.
That's right. You can find ostrich burger up there. They specify real big, and up at the Summit Inn it says, ask us about the ostrich burger, because fantastic.
It is probably the finest. Tastes like a good beef burger,
Yeah.
but they also have at the Summit Inn the ostrich egg omelet, which is probably the best omelet you'll ever eat. It's a moister, puffier egg, and it just makes a great omelet.
All right, now eggs are being used when you bring in eggs. We've done a show. We've been at Allen's Flowers, and I know over there we saw her display using the shells and then creating the dioramas and using statuettes and different things. And the eggs are even used for all types of art, aren't they?
Oh yes, just like the Russian. What is that collection? They have it's.
Well, they have the Swarovskis and all the other things.
It's a very famous collection. They've all their jewels, the Russian jewels from the old, from like 200-300 years ago. They put them on. All those jewels are attached to ostrich eggs. What is that collection called?
Well, I'll have to look it up. We'll have to figure that one out. But you do sell the eggs then to collectors as well. You sell everything then.
Oh yes, we sell. We ship as many empty eggs as we do full eggs. Now, full eggs for people that like to eat them. We say one egg will feed 12 people.
One egg will feed 12. How can I buy an egg? I'm at your farm today. Can I buy an egg from you? Can I buy? What's the minimum?
Well, the mediums are $15 and the large are $20. And as I said, large will feed 12 people. You can buy as little as one egg.
That's how it goes. Now we saw the youngsters born. And now we're old in the incubator, or in the brooder.
Of the collection,
yes.
The Fabergé egg collection.
Fabergé, the simple one. Okay, everybody knows Fabergé.
Right.
We got to walk over here before we run out of time, though. Follow us, guys. Bring the camera, because the youngsters, when they're only a few days old, how old are these that we're walking over toward, Doug?
These are 4 or 5 days old.
4 or 5 days. So you've helped some of these hatch out. Some hatched out on their own, but these are 4. Now look, they're starting to get a little woolly look to them now. Yeah. So what do we got? Pin feathers already coming out?
Yep. And we have one here that is flipped upside down. He's got little handcuffs on that help his feet together.
Okay. And this little guy's going to be okay?
Yep, he'll be just fine. His feet. He was born with his legs a little too wide, so we make little handcuffs that bring their feet in, and they wear those for about 3 or 4 days, and then they walk just like the others.
And these guys are just a few days old. Now, how long will you keep them in this kind of environment on the grass before you move them out?
Only 2 days here. Yeah. And then we're going to go over to the chick house.
Okay, so the chick house is next, and then you have them separated in what types of groups from that point on?
Then they are separated by about 2 months. There'll be a 2-month-olds, a 4-month-olds, a 6-month-olds, and so forth.
Now, do you get down to where you're down? What is your bare minimum number that you have at your lowest point when the season ends?
Well, we actually finished to the point of there are none left. We've moved them all ahead, and they grow 1 foot per month. They're the fastest growing creature in the world. And so if you want to know how old an ostrich is, and if he's 3 feet tall, he's 3 months old.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about more of that, and we're going to talk about where they're from. A lot of people don't know where they're indigenous to. We'll talk about that too. So stay with us right here, simply because we're at the OK Corral, the ostrich farm here in Oro Grande, simply because you ought to know. Stay with us. We'll be back with more. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know. And we're at the OK Corral Ostrich Farms. And this is Abigail, everybody. Say hello, Abigail. Well, Abigail likes the microphone. Doug, come on over here with me. Abigail has a story here. Now, Abigail is how old?
Abigail is 3.5 years old, and she broke her ankle when she was 1 year old, and the others would have killed her. So I pulled her out of the pen, and she's mended, and she's become a family pet. And you have something to say? Do you, Abby?
She wants to talk, is what she wants. She wants to promote ostrich welfare, is what it's all about.
Say, don't you, Abigail?
Now, Abigail has become, she is a pet here.
Yeah, she is a pet. Oops, there go the glasses.
She's after the glasses. I'm going to keep those on, though. Now, she stands at tallest at how high?
About 8 feet tall. Yeah, she should just rock back and up goes the head. You know? Right. Yeah, she's a full-grown female. She's actually laid her first eggs this year. She was three and a half, and that's when they start laying their eggs. They live 100 years, and they breed for about 50 years, and they can run up to 50 miles an hour.
All right, well, I'm going to back over here just a little bit, Doug. I'm going to have you join me because I want to point back here. Abigail's here out on the grass in the shade and enjoying herself out here. I want to go back here in the sun. Come on, everybody. Come with us. Let's go back up this way. And we're going to go back out toward, here's the large ostriches now. These are averaging, what age are these?
These average about 15 years old. And as I said, they live 100 years, so they're very young. And the reason that they are missing their feathers on their rear ends, they're bald-butted birds, is I bought some bald-butted birds, and they're called pickers. And it's kind of like nail biting in the human activity. They just, once they're pickers, they're always pickers. So I got pickers in my herd, and so now I've got bald-butted birds.
All right. Now you keep these on the ranch, though. When you raise them, you'll raise them to what age before then you have to process them?
Well, these, of course, will outlive me and my grandchildren. But we process at 12 to 15 months. And they are at about 300 pounds. They grow 1 foot a month, and they grow very quickly. And so we process the birds. We take, just like Farmer John or Oscar Mayer, they go to the processing facility that's USDA inspected.
Now, we mentioned every bit of the ostrich is actually used. Do they use the beaks and the feet and so on?
Well, we use just about everything but the squawk. Worldwide, we don't, in this country, use everything, but the tendons have been used to do tendon transplants in humans. Cornea from the eyes have done cornea transplants in humans. We use just even the eyes go to ophthalmology schools where they study the eyes. The organs are all used just like in a cow or a pig, and all government inspected.
Well, the chick house, we have a shot of that, and the chick house is where they move to, and you were telling me after a few days they're in the chick house, and you end up with as many as how many in there at any given time?
We'll get up to about 200, 250 in there at a time, and then after 30 days we move them into the next facility.
And then they stay in there and grow a little bit more, and then when do they move into the regular, what I would say, commune?
Well, it's about a year. Yeah. Actually, the ones that we use for processing are always kept in a separate area. They never go into, this area is all the breeding area over here.
Well, we talked about the breeding area that you've got out here, and how many do you breed, like for next season? You're already in that process, I guess.
Well, we have about 700 breeders here, and we add maybe 25 to 50 a year that will change out for one reason or another. But the breeders is where we collect the eggs, and we collect the eggs every evening.
And how many eggs will the average female then produce over the period, the season or the year?
Well, it's kind of a bell-shaped curve, a little in the beginning of the year and a little at the end. May, June, and July are the 2 or 3 biggest months, and she'll produce about 2 a week.
Well, that's significant. That's a large amount.
It is a large amount. We'll be picking up 50 to 70 a day.
Okay, and the incubators, you have the incubator here. Do all the eggs get incubated, or how do you work that system?
No, not all the eggs. Some of the eggs go for. We have so many eggs. We have we can only take so many, up to 500 in the incubator at a time, and so the overflow is sent out to like Whole Foods markets and. Oh, there we go.
One caught in the wire. Getting a little activity over here for us. That one's okay. So let's get out in some information. We got about a half a minute left. Okay. Give us the information about the farms, where you're located, and how people can find you.
Do you want to see these bigger ones over here?
Well, we'll take a look at the bigger ones with the camera, but give us that information.
The information about where we are. We are 7.3 miles on Old Route 66 from the 15 freeway, north of the 15 freeway. Okay. And there are signs that say Ostrich Farm. It's always best to call first because I might be at Walmart or someplace. In that case, the gate will be locked. But we do give tours, and we do charge $5 an adult and $2 a child. The tour lasts an hour and a half, and then you can purchase ostrich products here on the farm.
All right. That phone number, if they want to call you and set up a reservation or coming out?
760-951-5180.
All right. And you have a website. Give us that.
The website is UnitedStatesOstrich.com.
All right, real simple, everybody. We're here in Oro Grande, California, simply because, like with all of our shows, to learn what it is to live with ostrich. Ostrich Farms, the largest in the United States, right here in Oro Grande, California. Stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap it up, simply because you ought to know. We'll be right back. Well, that's going to put the wraps on another show, everybody. From Oro Grande, California at the OK Corral Ostrich Farm, and here you can see the little ones have grown into the bigger ones, and we've got a whole bunch of them out here for you today. And Doug, give us that phone number again.
It's 760-951-5180, and it's Doug Osborne, and I'm listed in the book.
All right, and the website?
Is UnitedStatesOstrich.com.
All right, we're here in Oro Grande, California. Like with all of our shows, we want you to go to our website, www.yououghtaknowtv.com, and you can check our shows out right there and see what we're all about. And you can even watch this show whenever you want to. Just click and play, and you'll be able to see Doug and the ostriches and all that. Now, Doug, one of those eggs is going to make me an omelet. How big?
12 people can have a 3-egg omelet from 1 egg.
All right. There you go, everybody. Everything is available right here at the OK Corral Ostrich Farm. We'll see you next time, simply because you ought to know. See you next time, everybody. Bye.